One morning, Ferdinand was puffing along the track when he saw Mike. Mike was trying to warn him about something bad going on, while Ferdinand wouldn't listen. "Who cares?" said Ferdinand. "I'm going to go." "No, wait, Ferdinand," said Mike. But Mike tried to let him do this, but Ferdinand wouldn't listen. He was too busy. He was too busy pottering about. But when he arrived, he was wondering what to do while he was steaming along the track. But meanwhile, when he finally arrived at the Grand Canyon to see Duncan. Duncan was finally prepared too. "Well then," said Ferdinand, "I'm going." "But," said Duncan. But Ferdinand wouldn't listen. But Ferdinand wouldn't listen. And then there, on his line, was a green truck. "Maybe I'll take that," said Ferdinand. "Ferdinand, wait," said Duncan. "That's my truck." But it was too late. He pushed it, and it pulled him too hard, and he was going too fast. "Help, help," said Ferdinand, as he was steaming too fast and too hard, as he sped so fast that he couldn't stop. I want to stop," said Ferdinand. His driver applied the brakes, when suddenly the old truck came off the rails and onto the track below, and onto the ground. When Ferdinand tried his best to stop, and then he came off the rails. Ferdinand came derailed. "Help," said Ferdinand. "Help," said Ferdinand, as Derek came in. "Oh my goodness," said Derek. "I'll call for help." "Thank you," said Ferdinand, as Derek puffed away. He was feeling really worried. So was Duncan as well. While Derek was gone, Duke came into the rescue. Oh no, he said as he accidentally crashed into poor Ferdinand. Oh! And with that, both Ferdinand and Duke fell down and hurt themselves, and even Ferdinand's tender stayed on the rails. And with that, the Fat Controller was most upset and spoke to Ferdinand. "Ferdinand," he said, "I'm very cross for what you did this morning." "I'm sorry, sir," said Ferdinand. You should have listened to Mike's warning about how you weren't doing as you were told," he said. "I can't, but I was only trying to help myself," said Ferdinand. "Of course you were," said the Fat Controller. Now Duncan will have to clean up this mess now," he said, "and there's nothing we can do." And there wasn't. While Duke and Ferdinand were back on the rails, but something bad happened. While Duncan wasn't looking, he changed the tenders by accident. Ferdinand had Duke's tender, and Duke had Ferdinand's tender. "There," said Duncan. "Oh, I'm tired," as he yawned about, feeling very, very, very tired. While Ferdinand and Duke were in a mixed-up mood. "Hey," said Ferdinand, "that's my tender." "What has happened to us?" said Duke, as he steamed along, as both Ferdinand and Duke steamed along to see what happened. I'm going to we're going to talk to Duncan about this, they said. Duncan, they said, you've changed our tenders by accident. Sorry, said Duncan. Sorry, said Duncan. It's because I wasn't looking, that's all. Silly you, they said. And with that, they had to go somewhere else to change them back so that everything will be back to normal. While they were steaming on the track, the engines laughed at them looking like that. The engines laughed at them looking like that. So did, except Boko and Mighty Mac. They would never do this at all. Stop laughing at us, they said, as they steamed along and back to Knapford Sheds. Excuse me, Spencer and Edward and Gordon, they said. We don't want you seeing us like this. Okay, said Spencer. And then Spencer, Edward, and Gordon realised that this wasn't the time for laughing. They've got out of the sheds while Ferdinand and Duke were ready to change their tenders back. This was a terrible disaster, said Duke. And a mix-up too, said Ferdinand. We were really embarrassed. And they were. They had their tenders back, and everything was back to normal. Now we don't feel so clumsy after all, they said. And with that, the engine stopped laughing and apologised, and this made both Duke and Ferdinand really happy. And as for Mike, he was not laughing too. He might not know what was going on. What was going on, he asked. Oh, you mean something what made us laugh, said Oliver. Yes, said Mike. I'll tell you now, said Mavis. Ferdinand and Duke had their tenders mixed up, but after when they got them back, we're going to stop laughing about that now. Thank heavens, said Mike. Indeed, said Duke, and with that, Duke and Ferdinand were happy that everything was back to normal in their reputations and their brains and their own self as well too.